Hey, Shalom, Shalom Akim. All right, Shabbat Shalom. This is your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, coming with another lesson through the Spirit. Lord willing, this be edifying to the Lord's elect. And before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rachaha Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, of whom I've grown in this truth under. Shalom to the Akim out there that's pushing the truth, is laboring in the word, and is pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's soon to come. Shalom to the Akwath that's listening in, that's remaining true to the faith, and remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands and guiding their children. Shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes that scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth, to the Israelite foreigners out there who live among the heathen and who look like those heathen nations. But your lineage goes back to the progenitors of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel through the line of your fathers. I want to say peace and blessings to you all, Barakatham. Okay? Let me get this first in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8 and verse 4. To start this off, it says, "Where the word of a king is, there is power. And who may say unto him, What doest thou? Whoso keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing, and a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment." Okay, but what type of rulership or what type of king are we under? Okay, we're not under a king in prudence. You see what I'm saying? We're not under a ruler who operates in wisdom. You see what I'm saying? And this is exactly why your boy Nero Trump, all right, he's the perfect man. He's the perfect man that the Lord sent, okay, to bring about the destruction of this place. You see what I'm saying? And we are indeed looking at the fall of this empire. And there are many who simply can't, they can't bring themselves to see it. They don't want to believe it. They don't want to believe their lying eyes of what they're seeing happening right before their eyes. All right. That this place is most certainly going down the drain. Okay. Trillions in debt that's irreparable. You know what I'm saying? You have wars that have no end in sight. You see what I'm saying? The loss of trust and the loss of allegiances, alliances. You know what I'm saying? And it's only getting worse. And then on top of that, you have the disasters that's going to befall the citizens. You see? And so all these things is causing the rift amongst this place, you know what I'm saying, within the citizens, within the inhabitants. All right? As we see, people are in what's the word? People are simply disappointed, I should say. All right? People are disappointed in the behavior that this man is portraying. All right, they didn't want this. They you know what I'm saying, according to them, they say they didn't want this. They say they this isn't what I voted for, yada yada yada. You know what I'm saying? And this is truly hilarious because these maggers and these Edomites, man, as a whole, they're being made the laughing stock by their own devices. You see what I'm saying? By their own devices. Nobody can trust America, not just America's leadership. You know what I'm saying? The world can't just distrust America's leadership. They can't. They can't trust. They only distrust us, or shall I say, the American people. You know what I'm saying, for their poor decision making. You know what I'm saying? Trying to fix up my words a little bit. They can't just trust the leadership that they see. They can't trust the citizens who put them there. That's what I should say. You know what I'm saying? They can't trust the American public who they perceive put him there. Okay? So in the eyes of the world, it's like, dude, you elected this guy. In the eyes of the world, it's like, how could you not see the signs? How could you not see, you know what I'm saying, where he gave you all the indicators that he's a narcissist, that he's depraved, you know what I'm saying, he's sick, you know what I'm saying? And he treats people horribly. How can you not see that? You know what I'm saying? He forecloses on every business that he has, you know what I'm saying? So, the world is not just looking at this man. The world is looking at these Edomites who perceivedly put them there. You know what I'm saying? So you MAGAs, your image is tied to this man. And all you Edomites, either you voted for him or not. That's the craziest thing. Even if you didn't vote at all. that's amazing, man. Your image is still tied to this man. All right? Still tied to him. And at the same time, either you want to believe it or not, your image is tied to that of these Amalekites as well. You see what I'm saying? Because everything that is done by these Amalekites around the world, these so-called JOOs, man, these small hats, these 48ers, okay, everything that they do is sanctioned by America. Everything that they do is approved by America. So it's one and the same. You know what I'm saying? It's one and the same. So this is where you have this divide that's taking place. You know what I'm saying? And there's no escaping this fact. There's no escaping the fate that you're now being perceived as the not the hero anymore, but the villain. As a matter of fact, let me get that. All right, let's go to Isaiah. All right, Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 5. And it reads, "The vile person shall no more be called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful." When you go into the word for liberal, it's going into charitable. It's going into one that is generous. You see what I'm saying? America was seen as that beacon of hope. You know what I'm saying? This place where you can come and experience the American dream. You know what I'm saying? And that lie has it's gone on for a long time. Okay, it's gone on for a long time, and here we are at the precipice. You know what I'm saying, of this downfall. Okay, on the 250th anniversary that's approaching this this Saturday. You know what I'm saying? How about that? This Saturday, that's the time when majority of the brotherhood goes out to prophesy. You know what I'm saying? On the Saturday, and it's gonna be this Saturday, man, coming up. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing, I'll be out there prophesying. You know what I'm saying? This is it, and it's amazing to watch, man. It's amazing to see and witness. You know what I'm saying? And so, I just wanted to share a couple videos with you, all right, to prove the fact that this nation is truly divided. All right, it's truly divided. It's not going to slow down. All right, it's only going to pick up the more that the suffering, that the afflictions continue and increase. All right, it's going to get worse. So this is verse 6, Isaiah 32 and 6. "For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail." Okay? And here it is with all these data centers, there's no water. You know what I'm saying? Now people are starting to panic buy. I was in the store the other day and I saw this old lady. I saw this old lady. She had 3 cases of water. 3 cases of water. I hope she's got a grandson somewhere who's strong enough to carry those for her. You know what I'm saying? That's what was going on in my mind. All right, but people are starting to get hip to what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And so now they're starting to move hastily. You know what I'm saying? And as the scriptures say, all right, we're not supposed to be making haste in the times of trouble. You know what I'm saying? But we're supposed to stand firm. The Lord has not given us the spirit of fear, all right, but of love, power, and a sound mind. A sound mind is going to get us through this. A sound mind is going to get us through this, man, as is written in Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 6. All right, but let me go to Sirach chapter 2. All right, Sirach chapter 2 and verse. Let's go to verse. Okay, let's just start at verse 1. Sirach chapter 2 and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord Yahweh, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. You see what I'm saying? That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to put our trust in him. All right? Not to put our trust in what it is that we can stock up. You see what I'm saying? Because the bottom line is that no amount of prepping will be able to prepare you, you know what I'm saying, for what is coming, man. As the picture says, all right, which he posted this on his Truth Social account back in September. All right. It says the world will soon understand nothing can stop what is coming. Okay, nothing can stop what is coming. And that's truly prophetic, man. You know what I'm saying, in a sense. Because nothing can stop what's coming. The plagues are sent, and who can turn them back? You know what I'm saying? All right, and these devils think that they're in charge, that they're going to be the ones to get this thing rolling in their own, by their own volition, but that's not happening. All right, the scripture said that the deceived and the deceiver are his. All right, and that the heart of the king is in the hand of the Lord. Roughly paraphrasing. So let me get these videos real quick, and Lord willing, grab another scripture or two and close it out. Bear with me.
Tucker Carlson just did something nobody saw coming. After 35 years backing the Republican Party, he walked away on air, and he's accusing them of treason. Watch this.
I would not support the Republican Party. There's no chance I would support the Republican Party. I'm not going to support the Democratic Party. I don't know what I'm going to do. But at this point, how could I or any American voter support a political party that's not loyal to the United States? I or any American voter support a political party that's not loyal to the United States, that puts the interests of a foreign country above those of its own citizens. That's it's not possible to vote for people like that, and I'm not going to. And I think I voted Republican my entire life. I worked at Fox News, CNN, right. MSNBC. I've been a consistent defender for 35 years of the Republican Party. I mean, very consistent defender. But there's no defending this because it's immoral, and it's exactly the opposite of what a political party in a democracy is charged with doing, which is representing its own voters, its own citizens, its own nation, and they're not doing that. So, no, I'm out. And if I'm out, then I think a lot of other people are out.
That announcement just sent shockwaves through Washington. On his podcast last Thursday, clips of which only really blew up and started trending this morning, Tucker Carlson said he's done. Done with the Republican Party he has supported through every election for 35 years. Done aligning himself with a party whose ideology he says he no longer recognizes. His argument is blunt. He says no rational American who actually loves this country and wants what's best for it can keep supporting a party that, in his view, serves Israel's interests over America's own. He laid out his case around the Iran war specifically, arguing that Trump and the Republican Party dragged the country into that conflict for Israel's benefit, not America's, and that he personally tried for a long time to slow that momentum down from the inside before.
Right. Right. And if you think for a minute that those Democrats was against this move, if you think that, then you truly are lost in this thing. All right, you truly are lost in this thing, because that dude Nero got up on that podium before the Congress, and he clearly said, all right, that Iran can't have a nuke and this and that, and we got to go in and yada yada yada. All right, everybody got up there and applauded. All right, everybody on both sides. This was a bipartisan venture. All right, bipartisan. So you have to understand that there is such a thing as controlled opposition. All of them are paid by the same individuals, the same the same firms, or shall I say the same campaigning entity. You know what I'm saying? Starts with an A and ends with a C. All right? So there's no difference. There's no difference. This is simply the two horns like a lamb that's about to speak as a dragon. All right? So, continue.
Concluding the party was acting against the country's own interests. And here's the part that should really worry Republican strategists. Tucker didn't just say he's leaving. He said if he's leaving, others will follow, possibly in huge numbers. He's betting on two things. First, his own audience, an audience that spans Gen Z voters, MAGA loyalists, and plenty of registered Republicans, an audience that trusts him. Second, he's betting that other major voices inside the MAGA coalition feel exactly the same way. People like Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Congressman Thomas Massie, who already survived an Israel lobby-funded primary challenge backed by Miriam Adelson. He's also pointing to Marjorie Taylor Greene, once one of Trump's fiercest loyalists, who recently distanced herself from him entirely and was accused of betrayal in return. Tucker's bet is that this same base starts asking the same question out loud. Are we serving America's interests or Israel's? And that this question becomes a defining issue heading into the midterms, which are only about 4 months away.
Right. And as we can clearly see, with the way things are shaping up already, there's not going to be no election. You see what I'm saying? That the whole charade is over. All right, the whole charade is done. They're not going to be allowing you to sit here and voice your opinions and your egregiouses and what have you that you have with this administration. You see what I'm saying? That's not going to happen. All right. The whole thing was a facade from the very beginning. You know what I'm saying? Again, if you still think that a vote matters, okay, that truly means that you have no understanding of what this is really about. What's the man's name? I believe he's a Jake. What is his name? He was a comedian. Damn. His name's on the tip of my tongue. Was it Carl Sagan or Carl Sagan? Damn. I can't remember his name. All right. But yeah, man, like he said, the system itself has got you by the balls, man. Got you by the balls. And his name's probably gonna pop right up in my head once I'm done with this lesson. All right, but in any case, you know what I'm saying, everybody is this whole divide is real deep, you know what I'm saying? Like he said, from Candace Owens to Marjorie Taylor Greene to Thomas Massey to what's that dude, Nick Fuentes. Everything's just falling apart. You see what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing to see. So that's enough of that. I want to get this other video real quick. Bear with me.
Donald Trump's 250 bash isn't going the way that he planned it. It's going far, far worse. He said there were supposed to be 45,000 people there. Looks to be about 45 total. Then a guy dressed as Uncle Sam got arrested for masturbating live at the event. Sounds pretty MAGA. Even the lone performing artist, Vanilla Ice, had to cancel. He said it was due to bad weather, but really, there was just nobody there.
Happy early birthday, America. We're celebrating already at the Great American State Fair. Man, we've got thousands of people celebrating this birthday with us, Tommy. You and I had a chance to go out. We got to see some of the exhibits. I'm sure you got what I got, which was a lot of people going, hey, love to watch it on Fox. I hope a lot of them left the mall, went home and turned on their TV.
Co-parter, Fox News. Nobody left to go home and watch it on TV. Nobody showed up.
It's crazy.
Donald Trump's 250 bash.
That's crazy. That is crazy, man. Nobody showed up for this thing. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's pretty much an indication of where this thing is going. All right, because there's not enough bread and circus to keep the people interested. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing as it was in Rome. You know what I'm saying? Where they would bring about the bread and circus, but at a certain point, the bread and circus comes to a close, man. It comes to an end. It comes to an end, man. Because not everybody wants this. Not everybody wants to you know, try and pretend like everything is all right, man. That can only take you but for so far. It can only take you for so long, you know what I'm saying? Because sooner or later you gotta face the reality. Like I said, a lot of people don't want to believe. All right, let me take this one right here. I like that. Yeah, I like that. Yep. Nobody wants to believe that this is true. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't want to believe that this is true, but it's true. It's the truth. You see what I'm saying? It is the truth. You went into they dragged you into they dragged you into West Asia, okay, to face the Persians, the Carmenians. They dragged you jokers over there, man. Soldiers have passed. You know what I'm saying? All for what? For what? So he can end up groveling and begging for a deal. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it's only going to continue on with the divide and the disappointments, man. And they're going to keep mounting up. This is 2 Esdras chapter 15 and verse 15. For the sword in their destruction draws nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. We're starting to see, all right, we're starting to see the sedition. We're starting to see we're starting to see the people turning their backs on this dude, man. And it's literally happening the same way it did in ancient Rome. Nero was loved by the people. You see what I'm saying? Nero was was accepted. He was applauded. He was praised. All right, and then eventually, his horrible leadership led the public to despise him. See what I'm saying? They despised him, and as a result, he ended up unaliving himself. Well, this is what we're seeing happening now, man. You know what I'm saying? The public is now despising who they previously praised and lauded and loved. You see what I'm saying? These jokers went and they bought a phone, a so-called gold phone, a Trump phone. I think it was worth $1,000 or whatever. All right? They're not even given that. They're not even given that. And if they are, it's not made in America. It's made over in China somewhere. And it's not even real gold. You see what I'm saying? And you still don't get your money back. That's crazy work, man. That's crazy work. You trusted a man that's been convicted, all right, and charged with over 30 felons, with over 30 felonies, over 30 crimes. And you trusted him. That's crazy work, man. So eventually, you know what I'm saying, now since the veil is being lifted up, you know what I'm saying, the people are being forced to come back to reality. Okay? You know, it's only one or two things, man. You're gonna lash out against the one that you thought would make America great again, or you're going to hold on to the delusion, okay, and fight against those, all right, who was once on your side and defending them. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. But the scriptures clearly tell you, all right, that one people should stand up and fight against another. All right, let's go to 2 Ezra chapter 6. 2 Ezra 6:24. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. All right? So these people are going to end up fighting each other, man. Okay? And I remember the name of that comedian is George Carlin. All right, George Carlin. So, which I have a video with him in it. Lord willing, I can bring that video out some other time in a later lesson. But you know, that pretty much concludes this lesson. All right, and I pray this lesson was edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. All right. So this has been your brother Zachariah Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. In closing, I want to give our praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who teach well. May peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. All right, Shalom.